Hello everyone, good morning. So can anyone confirm audible or not? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can use your chat window. Are you able to hear me? Just you can use your chat window. So any newcomers who is joining from today onwards, can you raise your hand? Any newcomers who is joining from today onwards? Anyone is there who is joining from today onwards? Just raise your hand, or you can say yes in the chat window. Newcomers who is joining from today onwards. Two members only. Who is joining from today onwards? 3 members. 4. Okay. Only 4 members. That's okay, fine. Newcomers, just we completed like 5 sessions. Okay. Those 5 sessions, videos I will provide you. End of the class, today, end of the class, we'll discuss. Okay. What we discussed last 5 sessions. Okay. End of the session, we'll discuss. Okay. These 5 sessions, first 2 are like interaction. Okay, just it's like what kind of what content we are going to discuss as part of our course. After that, we started like HTML basics, more than that, nothing. React not has started. React will start after 1 week. Okay. Okay, I will tell newcomers, don't worry, just stay back after this class. So I will explain. Okay, what I covered last 5 days. Okay. Okay, then let's come back to our actual session. So yesterday we discussed about why the elements behave the elements behavior is like that, why my h1 is behaving like this, why my span is behaving like this, why my div is behaving like this. That one we discussed or not? Can anyone tell me why my h1 is behaving like that? H1 is like a big font size, why it is looks like that? Okay, very simple. Why? Because by default my h1 has some css. By default my h1 has some css applied for my h1 by default. Okay, what? Display block. Because of this css property by default applied to my h1, so my h1 is acting like what? A block level element. The next one is like some font size applied. Okay, the next one is like some font weight applied. Okay, it's like a bold. The next one is like some margin applied by default to my h1. That the reason only my h1 is behaving like that or not. How it is behaving? Okay, now come here. Let's go to reveal in file explorer. Just run this test file. Open. Now see this. This is my section. This content related code I want to see. How we can see the content related code? How we can see the content related code? Right click on this one, inspect it. Now I want to dock this developer console window always in the bottom. Just go to bottom. See, whenever you click on the content and inspect it, in the elements tab left side section, one element highlighted. Say this one. This element, this is the source code for this particular content which is rendered inside the browser. This h1 right side, if you come to the right side, see this, these many css properties are applied or not? These many css properties are applied. Because of these css properties only, my h1 is behaving like this or not? First, display block property applied, so that my h1 is which kind of element? Block level element. My font size 2em, this is unit. Em is a units in css. We have okay separate discussion. We are going to discuss about the units, pixels, em, rem, percentage, these all stuff in css. Font size 2em, that the reason only it is looks like big font size. Margin applied, that the reason, see there is a red shade top and bottom is there. The next one is like font weight bold is there. That's the reason only my H1 is looks like with bold letters or not. Because of these CSS properties by default applied to my H1, so that my H1 is behaving like this or not. So the same CSS properties, if I apply to some other element, see this is my italic. Where is my italic? This is my italic. To my italic, I apply the same CSS properties. Now see, my italic turn to be like what? H1 or not? Now my italic I tag behaving like H1 or not? It is a block level element now. My font size is like 2 em now. Okay, the next one is like margin is there. The next one is font weight is there. I by default has font style italic. See this italic also applied or not? So one element behavior we can change or not? Yes, we can change it by applying some CSS or not. Yes or no? One element you can make it like any other element by applying the CSS or not. Simply I make like I as a H1 or not. Okay, I changed the behavior of my I as a H1 or not. So if you know the CSS, by applying the CSS, we can make one element like another element or not. We can change the behavior of one element like another element or not. Agreed with me all are agreed with my statement? Okay, okay then. That's the reason. Okay, if you go for any website, if you go for any website, if you go for any website, most of the times you can see like a div tags only. Most of the times you can see like a div tags only. Now see this. Most of the times you can see like a div tags only. Right click on this one, inspect it. Now see this in the elements tab. Most of the times you can see like div tags. See this 90%. These all are like div tags only or not. Why they use it like div only? They use div, but the div behavior we can change like any other element by applying the CSS or not. See in the right side. Okay, by applying some CSS, okay, we can change the div behavior like any other element or not based on your requirement. Got my point? So go to any website, check what they written, what code they written, what kind of CSS properties they applied. Okay, just you can check it. Got my point? Okay, and one more thing, some of the websites, observe here, if I click on the login, okay, some of the websites, they not allow you to inspect it. See, in the Access Bank, landing page allow you me to inspect. That means open the developer console window. See, it is allowed. But whenever I opened the login page, it opened the page in the next window, separate window. In that window, due to some security reason, they hide. Okay, they disabled that right click. See, I'm trying to click on the right click, but it is disabled. Inspect is not visible. That time, don't think more. Copy the URL. Copy it. Open a new tab. Open a new tab. Now, don't paste and run that URL. First, inspect it and open the developer console window. Yes. Now, developer console window opened. Now you can open your URL. Now you can open your URL like this. You can do it. Okay, like this you can do it. Okay, any website. Got my point? Okay, if any website restricted, if any website like restricted to open the developer console window, first to open the developer console window and then you can open your URL and then you can open your URL. Now you can inspect it. Okay, now I want to see this particular back button, what kind of code they written. See, this is the code they written for the button, and for this button there has some CSS they applied. Okay, there has some styles they applied. Okay, all these things you can see. Okay, if I uncheck this one, okay, how it is affected, you can see that. You can see that one. Got my point? Agreed with me? Come on. All are agreed? So go to any website, check what they written. Check what they written. Okay? Okay then. Now yesterday we created like one login page. Yesterday we created one login page. Okay. Now the difference between normal username text box and password text box is what? Username text box and password text box is what? The username text box, whatever you enter the data, that data directly, okay, that content is directly visible to the end user. But whatever you enter the data in the password field, that is visible with some mask or not, like this. Why this text box is behaving like this? Because of why this element, why this text box behaving like this? How you created this text box? By using this element input. Why this input element is behaving like this with some mask? Element behavior completely depending upon the CSS. Can you check what kind of CSS they written for this particular content? Right click on this one, inspect it. So this is the source code they written for this particular text box. So if you click on this one, come to the right side. Now see, these many CSS properties are applied. That the reason only it is showing like this. The behavior is like this. The look and feel is like this. Here one field, one CSS property is there, text security, WebKit to text security. Because of this CSS property only, whatever the content is there, that content visible with some mask or not. That WebKit text security, if I apply for my H1 element, yes, you can apply it. Now see that. Okay, my H1 login, right? That is now circle. That is now disk. Okay, that is now square. Like this, it is visible or not? Yes or no? Okay, text security, WebKit text security. Just you can put like a square. Square. Now say this. My login looks like what now? Masked with some square boxes like this or not. If you want to hide, just you can add this CSS property. If you want to hide the actual content, then you can add this CSS property. By default, the CSS property added to my text box input type equals to password with the disk as a value, so that it is visible like this or not. The content with the mask with the disk. Got my point? Up to here we discussed yesterday or not? Okay. Okay, then shall we go to the next level discussion? Our next level discussion is about the attributes. Our next level discussion is about the attributes. What is an attribute? Attributes in HTML. Very simple. If you observe the element, how the element is looks like syntactically. Okay, this is open element. This is closing element. Whatever the text you written here, that is called as a element name. Inside the open and closing element, whatever the content you place, that one we can say like a that element content. Yes or no? That is like a element content. Okay, this is the one. Now I have one more div is there. Dhoni is there. I have one more div. Dhoni is there. Now tell me, open element, closing element, content. Open element, closing element, content. Now I want to differentiate. I want to tell something about this div is a Sachin div. I want to tell something about this div. It's a Dhoni div. I want to tell something about my element. Then how we can tell something about my element means by using an attributes. By using an attributes, we can tell something about our element. So what is an attribute? How it is syntactically looks like means attributes always placed in the open tag. This is my open tag, right? These are in the form of key value pairs. My attribute is a key value pair. For one element, you can write any number of attributes. For a one element, you can write any number of attributes. So this key value pair tells something about your element. Now let's go here. Inspect it. Okay, this is my image, right? So I want this image. Can I copy this one? Can I copy this? Copy element. Can I go to our code, paste it, paste. Now, if you observe here, image is my tag. Here one key value pair is there. Here also one key value pair is there. Here also one key value pair is there. In the open tag, whatever the key value pairs are there, those key value pairs, what we can say? Those key value pairs, what we can say? Those key value pairs, we can say like what? We can say like attributes or not. Okay, these attributes always tell something about your element. See, this attribute, this source attribute, what it is going to tell about this element means, let me run this attributes.html. Now, can I save? Can I inspect it? Can I go to my console? Can I refresh the page? Can I go to my elements? Observe here. Now, if you see this, this is my image. Okay, can I say background equals to red or something? Now it's visible, right? Okay, why? Because this access band, okay, it is in the white color. Okay, here also it is like white color only. Here also it is like white color only. That's the reason. Okay, just give some background color, then the time it is visible or not visible. It is visible, right? Access band. Otherwise, if you want this color only, somewhere you can find the color here itself. Okay, this is the one. Did you find the color? Go to this button. Okay, for this background is this one or not? Can I copy this color? Can I copy this background color? Go to your HTML, refresh your page. Okay, this is the image, right? Okay, can I give the background color like this for my image? Now my access bank is visible or not? Yes or no? In my page. In my page. Now observe. This is my image tag. Here there has three attributes are there. The first attribute, if you observe, source. Source is an attribute, tell something about your image tag. What it is going to tell, you know, this image tag display the image from this particular path. Like that, it is going to tell something about your image tag. This alternate is there. If that particular path, in that particular path, if the image is not there, then that time alternate text is visible or not. Why? Because now the image path gets changed. Okay, so that in that path that image is not there, so that instead of image, alternate text displayed or not. So this alternate alt and source tell something about your image tag or not. Yes or no? This alternate and this image tag, okay, source attribute and alternate attributes tell something about your image tag or not. Okay, this data hyphen something anything that is most of the times for testing purpose. Okay, automation testing. Okay, or our unit test, writing the unit test cases to get the references. Most of the times we are going to use, okay, this kind of attributes. So my alternate and source attributes tell something about my image tag or not. Got my point? Yes or no? Now this background color I want to apply like a CSS. Okay, at the time of CSS discussion I will tell. For now, just you can add my style equals to, okay, background is this one. Background is this one. What is the style? What is the background? I will tell at the time of CSS discussion. Now see, this image contains how many attributes now? Style attribute, alternate ALD attribute, and source attribute. These all tell something about your image or not. What it is telling? Source attributes tells the image tag display the image from this path. Alternate tells if this image not available in the path, this text is going to display. Style is going to tell, okay, to apply some CSS properties, the behavior of, okay, element, background color gets changed or not. Okay, it tells something about your image tag or not. So the attribute is nothing but it's a key value pair. These attributes tell something about your elements or not. Got my point? Now, can I do one thing? These attributes are there, right? Okay, these attributes. Now let me copy these attributes. Let me copy these attributes. I apply to my div now. Okay, now these three attributes I apply to div. Now inside my div, my image will display or not displayed. Inside my div, my image displayed or not displayed. Now observe here. Observe here. To my Dhoni, I applied three attributes. To my Dhoni, I applied three attributes. What are those? Style attribute I applied. So background color is this one. Alternate I applied. Source also I applied. Okay. The source equals to image path I applied. Is my image displayed in the div tag? No, right? Okay. Is my alternate text is visible somewhere? No, right? But my background color is affected. See that? It means some of the attributes are specific to that particular element. Some of the attributes are common for all elements or not. Observe here. Source and alternate. See, source and alternate specific to image tag. Background style attribute not only for image, for div also it is applied or not. But my source and alternate not for div. If you apply also, it's a markup language, there is no compilation. That's the reason it is not throwing any error. But whatever you applied, alternate and source, those are not affected, right? But style affected. What I can say now? Some of the attributes like style, common for all elements. Some of the attributes like source and alternate, specific to some elements only. For example, source is there. Specific to image. If you put to div also, there is no use. That is not affected. Got my point? Yes or no? Attribute is a key value pair. It is tells something about your element. Okay. Some of the attributes are specific to some elements. Some of the attributes are common for each and every elements or not. Best example here only. Style is common for div as well as image, some other. Style is a common attribute. Here also applied, here also applied. But source is there. Is it for div? Is it applicable for div? If you apply also, it is not affected. It is only specific to my image tag only or not. All are okay? Yes or no? Any questions, anyone so far? Are you able to understand what is an attribute? Attribute is a key value pair. It is always tells something about your element. Some of the attributes are specific to some elements. Some of the attributes are common for each and every element. Best example, style is common for all. Source is specific to image. Source is specific to image. Agreed? Okay. So far, in the developer console window, we discussed about the elements tab. Can anyone tell me about the elements tab? In my elements tab, whatever the content is visible to the end user, that content related code we can see in the elements tab left side section. Okay, that particular code applied with some CSS, that CSS we can see in the right side section or not. Yes or no in the elements tab. This is applicable for any website. Whatever the content is visible to the end user, that content related code we can see in the left side part. That code applied with some CSS. That code if applied with some CSS, that CSS we can see in the right side or not. That styles we can see in the right side section or not. That is about the elements tab, right? Yes or no? This much content is visible to me. Okay, this content related code where I can see in the elements tab left side section. Okay, that code applied with some CSS where I can see that code applied with some CSS, that CSS we can see in the right side section or not. All are okay? That is about elements tab. Any questions? Let's go with the console. Let's go with the console tab. Okay, console tab most of the times we used for while running your application, if you want to print some log messages, hey, okay, this page gets loaded. Okay, this is the current page. Like that, if you want to log some messages in the console, you can use this tab, runtime messages. If you want to print console.log messages, you can print console.errors, you can print it, console.info messages, you can print it like that. Okay, to print the log messages while running or while executing your application, while running your application in the browser, if you want to show some runtime messages, okay, then that time you can use console. That is one thing. Okay, we can show console.log of, see this. Okay, I am in okay, att.html page. For example, this code, if you write in your page, that is visible here. That is visible here. Say this code, if you write here in the script tag, what is the script tag? I will tell at the time of JS discussion. Script tag, if I put something like this, if I refresh my page, see this, I am in att.html page. Okay, if I put like this, see this, these are affected or not? Can you check it? Can you check it? Now see, working or not working? That kind of messages, if you want to log in your console, you can use this console tab. But one more important thing is what, for example, if you want to write a Java code, okay, if you want to execute a Java program, what you can do? First, you need to install the JDK software, and then you have one editor is required. You have to write the code, you have to compile the code, you have to run it. Then only we can see the output or not. This much process is required, right? At least one software you have to install JDK or not? Yes or no? Come on, yes or no? Okay, for example, if you want to write the C program, you have to install the C software, right? But if you want to run any JavaScript program and you want to execute, no software, nothing is required. Now onwards, in my class, okay, I don't want to use any editors, nothing. Simply, my console is acting like your JavaScript working environment. Here, whatever the JavaScript code you want, you can write and you can execute instantly, and you can see the output. For example, I want to print first 10 numbers. I equals to 0, I less than or equals to 10, I plus plus. Okay, here you can write like console.log of, okay, I. Console.log of I. Now if you click on this one, see my numbers printed or not. Okay, let me write one function f1. It's take one argument. Okay, here you can print like console.log of okay, name.length. Okay, now f1 of Sachin, f1 of something like this, working, yes or no? Okay, I want to check whether the given number is even number or odd number. Okay, these are like simple things I'm telling instantly. Okay, equals to 0, then the type even, otherwise odd. Any JavaScript code you can write here, you can execute it. In our class, after 1 week, we are going to write our JavaScript code in our console only. That time, how to use the console, I will tell. So can I say my console to log the messages and runtime, you can use it. At the same time, this console we can use for what? You can use for what? To log your, okay, console messages. You can use this console as a JavaScript environment. You can run and execute. Okay, you can write and execute any JavaScript programs directly or not. Any software is required for writing the JavaScript code? Nothing is required. Go to the console, write your program and execute it in JavaScript. It is simply working like JS working environment or not. Got my point? Agreed with me? How to use the console will tell. How to use the console, I will tell. Up here, okay, everyone? Okay, the next one is like source and network. Very, very important. Let's go with the network tab. Okay, see. Let me open Paint. Important, just check it. See, this is my browser. This is my browser. In my browser, okay, I want to open one page, for example. I want to open, let's think this one only, this page. If you want to open this page and render it inside the, okay, browser, that page content, first of all, my browser requires this file or not, then only, right, we can get the content from the file and we can render it, yes or no? Come on. If you want to render some content inside the browser, my content is inside the one file. So from that file, okay, you have to get the content or not. Where is my file? Which file that is? att or attributes.html. The file is inside where? Come on, this is my browser. This is my browser. Okay, in my local machine only. Okay, this is my local machine. My mission. In my local machine, in one path, my attributes.html file is there. So my browser requires the content from this particular file or not. So what my browser is going to do, you know, hey, attribute.html, I need the content from you. Like that, my browser requested to this particular file. So my browser requesting, right? My browser requesting, okay, to my attribute.html, right? Terminology wise, I can say my browser send a request to whom now? In this case, my browser send a request to whom now? Come on, think general. My browser send a request to whom? For which file? My browser send a request to which file? Attribute.html file. That is inside where? In my local machine or not? Once my browser send a request to attributes.html file, my attributes.html file, if it is having the content, if he asked in the right way, okay, then that time he is going to give the response back to whom? Come on, he is going to give the response back to whom? He is going to give the response back to whom? Response back to my browser or not? So my browser received the response from outside, okay, from my local file. I can say this is called as what? Response or not. All are okay? Agreed with me? Up to here, okay? Okay, next comment this one. Now see this. If I run this, my browser send a request to which file? Attribute.html, and get the response and render that content or not. So my browser send a request, right, and get the response, right? That request and responses where we can track, you know, in the network tab. Now in the network tab, let me clear the network. See this, there has one icon is there. Let me refresh it. Okay, if I clear it, let me refresh it. If I refresh, there has one item you can see here, one request sender, that 326 bytes data transferred or not. From where to where? From my attributes.html file to my browser or not. Now can you see the attribute.html? Now multiple tabs you can see here. In the headers tab, see, you send a request to eDrive my classes react attribute.html. What is the request method? All these things at the time of Node.js we'll discuss again. Ajax will discuss again. Okay, for now, just remember, okay, my browser send a request to this particular URL and get this response or not. Yes or no? This response only rendered where? This response only rendered where? This response only rendered where? Inside my browser or not? Yes or no? So whatever the request my browser sent, that request tracked where? That request registered where? In the network tab or not? All are agree? Yes or no? Okay, now my browser send a request, okay, attributes ss. Okay, this file is there or not there in that location? This file is there or not there? Attributes.html, File is there or not there? Not there. Then that time, am I get the response? No resource with the given identifier found. Agreed with me? Come on. Agreed. Now, yes, one request sent and I get the response. Now, this request completed successfully or not? How we can see this? There has a green circle is there, right? Then you can understand this is like successfully completed. I get the response. So one request got completed successfully. Whenever the request got completed successfully, that request we can see we can get some response, right? Now, if you go to the source tab, in the source tab, if you observe, whatever the response you got it, okay, that response formatted in the file explorer format in the source tab. Observe here, the network and source tab both are in sync. See, you send a request to which file? File in the E drive, my classes folder, okay, to this attribute.html. So my attribute.html gives me some response or not? Yes or no? So this is like a file explorer format only. You can see in the source tab. See, E file, E is one folder. Inside the folder, my class is one folder, React one folder. In that folder, I requested for attribute.html. I get this response or not. That means in the network tab, whatever the request you send and complete the request successfully, that response you can see in the file explorer format in the source tab or not. In the file format, well, you know, my browser send a request and get the response. That response somewhere you have to store, then only, right, we can use it. If you not store, how we can use it? That's the reason in the network tab, send the request and get the response through this. Whatever the response you got it, that is stored in the browser in the file explorer format in the source tab or not. Got my point? Yes or no? Now see this. Is my request completed? My request failed. This particular, okay, this particular attribute 33.es not there. If it is not completed my request, so that see if in the file explorer format nothing is there. If my request whenever it is completed with some success response, that response only stored in the file explorer format or not? Yes or no? Agreed with me? So my network tab and my source tab both are in sync or not? My network tab and my source tab both are in sync or not? Come on. In the network tab, whatever my browser send a request, so we can track here. If my request got completed successfully, that particular response stored in the source tab in the file explorer format or not? All are okay? Yes or no? Okay then. So far, my browser send a request to whom? Attributes.html, it's a local machine. Possibilities I'm talking about now. Now, if I uncomment this one, can anyone tell me? This particular Axis Bank logo, okay, this logo, in my local machine or out of my machine? Where is my logo? Can anyone tell me? Is my logo already in the local machine somewhere in the D drive or somewhere? No, right? No, right? It is not. Where it is? In the accessbank.com, okay, in the assets images somewhere out of my machine or not? So if you want to get this logo, my browser should have to send a request to my local machine or out of my machine in the cloud. Come on. The cloud mission or not? Out of my mission? Yes or no? So to get the Axis Bank logo, one of the mission maintained by Axis Bank people, to get that logo, my browser send a request or not? Yes or no? And if the path and everything is correct, you can get the response or not? Agreed with me? Okay, that means my browser may send a request to local file, may send a request to out of my machine, cloud or not. Now, can I refresh my page? First of all, can I save this file? Can you come here? Can I go to the network tab, clear that network tab? Now can I refresh my page? Now see this, how many requests went? How many requests went? How many requests went? Two requests. One is for my local mission, one request, and get this response. One is for, okay, see this, for my accessbank.com assets, is send a request or not, and get this response or not. So how many requests got completed successfully now? One, two requests got completed successfully. So once my request got completed successfully, that response managed within the source tab in the file explorer format or not. Now can you check it? Observe, this is the file in the my classes React. This is one file. Okay, this is my response. The next one is like in the accessbank.com, in the assets images folder, this is my logo white PNG or not. Yes or no? These two requests got completed. That response we managed in the file explorer format in the source tab or not. Agreed with me about the network and source tab? My request and responses where we can track. My request and responses we can track in the network tab. Okay, if my request got completed successfully with some response, that response stored in the file explorer format in the source tab or not. Agreed about the network tab? Okay, let's go to the Google one. Let's go to the Google, go to the network tab. Okay, go to network tab. Now let's go to Google. Now to land your page, okay, the landing page, if you want to render inside the browser, my browser send how many requests? See this, my browser send how many requests for my landing page? 45 requests my browser sent. How much data transferred to my browser? 88.1 KB data transferred into my browser. These many requests got completed. These all completed request responses, okay, where it is stored in the source tab or not? Okay, let's take one, okay, this Google image. Okay, so this Google image should have to come for where? Come for outside only or not? See, this is my Google image. Observe here. So this Google image, you send a request to this particular URL, to this particular URL. My browser send a request to this particular URL, get this response. So this response should store in the source tab or not? Can we check it? See this way, this is only the folder names. Okay, go to the source. Google.com is a folder name. Next, images branding is one more folder. Image is one folder. Branding is one more folder. In this Google logo 1x. Okay, in this Google logo 1x, Google logo 1x is one more folder. Inside that one, Google logo color. Okay, that was the file name. See this file name stored or not in the source tab? Yes or no? Whatever the request got completed, that response stored in the file explorer format in the source tab or not? Both are like in sync or not? Agreed. Okay, so the possibilities. My browser may send a request to my local file. My browser may send a request to my cloud mission. Sometimes if you have the data in the database, so my browser, some client-side technologies are loaded inside the browser. So is my browser directly communicate with the database? Already we discussed. Is my browser directly communicate with the database? No, there is no possibility. Okay, that's the reason in between there has some other technology help is required. Who is that guy? That guy name is like a server-side app or not? Server application or not? So my browser now to whom has to send the request? To my database or to my server-side application? My browser send a request to whom? To my server-side application. My server-side application is going to give the response to whom? To my browser or not? See, these are the possibilities to whom my browser send a request. My browser may send a request to my local machine file. My browser send a request to out of my local machine, one of the file in the cloud. My browser may send a request to my server-side application like Java application.net or PHP, Python or Node.js, Salesforce. Okay, any one of the application, and this guy is going to communicate with the database and give the response back or not? Color, okay? Come on. Source tab and network tab. The next one is like, okay, source tab not only store the data in the file explorer format, the source tab used for debugging purpose. Debugging purpose. Function f1 number. Okay, here console dot okay, log of number. Now see f1 of 10, that number printed. For example, if you want to debug your code line by line execution, put the debugger keyword. We'll explain in JavaScript. Don't think more about this one at this moment. Now f1 of 10. See this, you are in the console tab. My console tab highlighted. If I click on this one, now it is moved to source tab and my execution stopped here. My number is like 10. Like that, line by line you can execute it or not. So my source tab we are going to use for what? To debug your code also or not. Okay. Okay, the next one is like application tab. In the application tab, in the browser, I want to store some data. In the browser itself, I want to store some data. If you want to store the data in the browser, not in the database or some other, if you want to store the data inside the browser, we have some browser storages like local storage, session storage, cookies. Those storages are managed in the application tab. At the time of browser storages discussion in the JavaScript, we can see more, we can discuss more about this local storage, session storage, and cookies, all this stuff. So we can see in the application tab the browser storages or not. Okay, now you got some idea, right? First 5 tabs are important. As a UI developer, we are going to use these 5 tabs frequently: elements tab, console tab, source tab, network, and application. All are okay? Okay, newcomers can stay back, remaining people can drop. Newcomers just stay back. So how many new members are there? Newcomers. So newcomers, say this. So we completed like 5 sessions, okay, including today 6 sessions. Okay, I'll provide you the last 5 class videos to you. Okay, just wait. Yeah. So newcomers, this is overall React course. Duration is like 60 hours. The prerequisites for React is like HTML and CSS. So first 10 sessions we are going to take like HTML and CSS sessions. After that, okay, JavaScript, we are going to cover these many topics as part of our course. But don't think like, okay, we are going to cover the JavaScript and first HTML we are going to cover and then CSS in the sequence order. Don't think like after that JavaScript 35 topics will cover and then React is going to start. Don't think like that. Okay, here JavaScript, these many topics we are going to cover, right? Okay, React, these many topics we are going to cover, right? JavaScript and React we are going to discuss like parallel. How you know? For example, any React topic requires some JavaScript knowledge. Okay, for example, he say events, click event. First of all, I want to introduce the events in JavaScript and then we are going to move to our React events. Then that time you can easily understand why, because React JS, internally we are using JavaScript code only in React. If you know JavaScript very well, you can easily understand the React syntax and everything. So that my JavaScript and React go parallel. Don't think like after JavaScript we are going to start like React. Okay, don't think like that. So once my development is completed, I want to introduce like some DevOps tools like, okay, how to build the code and how to deploy and how to save the code in the version control. Okay, these things we are going to cover: GoDaddy, AWS, Vercel, and GitHub. I want to discuss like end-to-end flow. For that purpose, I need some backend technology. So I used like Node.js in our class. I want to store the data and I want to retrieve the data from the database, all this stuff. For that, I want to use MongoDB. So I want to use backend as a Node.js and database is like a MongoDB as part of our sessions. The next one is like state management purpose. I want to use like one of the library called as a Redux. Okay, the same juice stand is the another library. The next one is like I want to introduce a new topic is like React hooks. It is not only recently introduced, it is introduced in 16.8 version. So these hooks are important. Why? Because nowadays people are using only functional components. Functional component always works with hooks. And I want to introduce like 4 application end-to-end applications. Okay, client is a React Redux. It's a kind of online test application, real-time kind of application. Server side is Node.js and MongoDB is my database. So the same application here, REST APIs we are using here, GraphQL APIs I want to use. So introduce the GraphQL. The next one is like JSON web token. We are going to discuss how to manage the token. And Next.js in the weekend, we'll discuss React Native, we'll discuss React with TypeScript. Why? Because if you know React.js, you can easily work with Next.js, Native and TypeScript. Why? Because okay, they are all using React topics only. I want to introduce one of the React, one of the Webpack bundling purpose Webpack library to create your application. So softwares to be installed as part of this course: Visual Studio Code, Git, Desktop Git, MongoDB, Mongo Compass, Node Software or NVM, Postman, and SOAP UI. SOAP UI, Postman, any one of this one is enough. Okay, so SOAP UI not required. If you want, you can. You need to create an account. These many accounts you need it. Go to this website. These all are like free accounts. GitHub account I want, Vercel account I want, MongoDB account, and the AWS account and the NPM JS account. These many accounts are required. So this is our learning website, uijavagit.com. Okay, this website is like 24/7, always up and run. So our programs and everything I'm going to share through this website only. These are like last five class sessions. Today's session, tomorrow I will provide. Okay, so the fee wise, the fee is like 5,000 without videos, 8,000 with videos. If you want to put some experience, then the time better to take videos. Why? Because you have to revise the sessions more. So the admin is this guy. Just you can contact with him. Okay, if you have any questions, if they not respond due to some reasons, okay, they are busy with some other batches also, then the time just alternate. This is my email ID. You can drop a mail so I can respond. Okay, so let me share this content with you, newcomers. Okay, from where you can download this content, I will tell. Newcomers, I pasted in chat one link. Can you open that link? Can you open that website? Newcomers, can you open that website? Are you able to open or not? Just let me know. Are you able to open that website? Just respond. In the chart I pasted. Are you able to open that website or not? I pasted in chart. Are you able to open that website? Once you open that website, okay, this is the website. Once you open and come down, you can see one React tab. Okay, just click on the React tab. You can come down. There has one link is there in the React tab. Today class, last link. Just click on that link. Now you can see one zip file downloaded. Go to the zip file and extract this zip file. Extract this zip file. You can see all your okay, class programs and your content file also. Open that content file. In the content file, at last you can see our videos. Okay, see this last 5 session videos. Links you can see here. Just you can walk through those links. Okay. So any questions, anyone? Newcomers, do you have any questions? You can unmute and talk. Anyone have any questions?
Hello.
Yep.
Hi, sir.
Yep. Good. Hello.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, actually, how many days to start the JavaScript with parallel React to complete this HTML and CSS topics?
Exactly 1 week. Okay, HTML done. Okay, tomorrow we are going to start. First half an hour we are going to complete HTML, and then we are going to start like CSS. Mostly next week, middle.
Next week, maybe.
Yeah.
Complete this total topics within 60 days.
Yes.
60 hours.
60 hours or more, but it is not extended like 2.5 months. Yes, wise.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So when was the last date for fee payment? And till date, these videos will be we get.
First 10 class videos you can get it for free of cost. After that, if you want daily basis, you need to pay some extra amount. Okay, fee wise, okay, within 2 or 3 days, okay, you need to pay the amount. Okay, we'll update. Till
Okay,
then,
sir.
you can use the same link to join the meeting.
Okay, so once the link has been changed, please update before the class. We will pay the amount.
Obviously, we'll tell. We will inform you in the class itself. Okay, before 2 days we'll inform. Okay, if the link get changed, if you decide, okay, then that before 2 days we are going to intimate you people. Don't worry about that. Any other questions, anyone?
Yeah, like these 60 days will be the timings will be from 9 a.m. or else it would be changed on the weekend.
Weekends will change maybe. Okay, Sundays till Saturday 9 to 10 only. Sunday maybe change because we are going to take like some more hours. But remaining days never change. 9 exactly 9 it is going to start. Exactly 10 it is going to end.
Okay, thank you.
995 maximum.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, as part of this course, are we going to build any projects using React and JavaScript?
Yeah, that's what, right?
Huh.
If you observe here, online test it's a kind of application only. Okay, here we are going to use like React as a front end. Okay, Node.js is a back end, and MongoDB is a database. It's a completely empty and full-fledged application. Like that, 4 applications we are going to create. 2 are with REST APIs, 2 are with GraphQL.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, anyone? Okay then. Newcomers, any questions? Newcomers? No? Okay. We will continue remaining this in the next class. Thank you guys. Bye.